Bandits, Week 11 roundup coming to you right here, hot on the heels of Week 12. We're into the final 2 weeks of the season, and there were some big changes in the playoff picture. 3 teams booked their tickets, and 3 teams were officially eliminated. But we'll start off with a quick look at the scores around the league. One of the best matchups of the week saw Brad defeat Sharp 111-108, a 3-point margin of victory. Brad depended on major days from Jamal Charles and Jeremy Macklin, as 5 of his starters scored in the single digits. Sharp had a pretty solid day, but dropped touchdowns in the Steelers game, kept Big Ben at a disappointing 12 points, and that's probably what held him back from the big W. There must have been something about the Greg boys, as Tom also earned a 3-point victory this week by beating Zach 115-112. In a weird twist of fate, he also kind of benefited from Ben Roethlisberger's average play as the Steelers started to lean heavily on Le'Veon Bell in the running game late on, racking him up 29 fantasy points. Bro broke 200 yards, scored some touchdowns. It was huge day. An ankle injury to tight end Dwayne Allen kind of killed Zach's hopes, and that more or less ended this matchup. Sheck kept pace with the top of the league, pushing his way closer and closer to a playoff berth after last year's disastrous season by a convincing victory over J-Ball 122-78. That said, there's not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to this match in and of itself, because Justin yet again started a number of bye-week players, and that's what caused the final score. Barron got his surprise 3rd win of the season as he upended Jordan 123-113. Jordan has been kind of having a bit of an unlucky season after starting off incredibly strong, and he is tied with myself on total points scored this season at 1,440, but he still finds himself scrapping for his playoff life. 1 point for running back Terrence West was a killer, but 2 from tight end Julius Thomas was pretty much the end. Barron has put things together at the end of this season, made some promising wire moves, and he only had 2 players in single digits this week. A win against Justin in Week 13 saves him from the medal of shame. And finally, winning this week's Captain Jack's Beer of the Week, I beat up on Chase pretty badly, 137-65. 4 of my players combined for 94 of my 137 points, but the real story was Chase's underperforming squad. Nobody on his team scored more than 14, and 7 of his players scored in the single digits. Justin would have beaten Chase this week, and Jay started 3 players on buys. Now, for the playoffs, as I said, things got a little more clear-cut. Sharp's loss to Brad had a huge impact on the playoff picture. That, combined with Tom's victory over Zach, meant that things became a whole lot clearer and a whole lot more cut and dry as we head into the final weeks. Now, anyone with 7 wins is guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, as Sharp, still the number 7 seed, can only get 6.5 wins at the end of the year. Therefore, the playoff picture looks like this for each and every team. Me? Well, after I fix the camera, I am locked in, as I was last week. 1 more win guarantees me a bye as a top 2 seed, or I could lose out and maintain my plus 46-point differential on Tom, and I'll still get a bye. Brad is now officially locked in. Tom, also officially locked in. Brad and Tom play each other in Week 13, and if one of them wins out, they will likely be a top 2 seed. Zach, he's locked in. To get a bye, he needs to win out. Tom needs to win out, and he needs to outscore Tom by 44.5 points per game, or Brad wins out, Zach wins out, and Zach outscores Brad by 62 points a game. But obviously it's a little bit easier to get those points back on Tom. Either way, it's a really long shot for Zach. Those are the 4 locked-in teams, me, Brad, Tom, and Zach, leaving only 2 more playoff spots, and the next 3 have all been eliminated from playoff contention. Chase is out, Barron is out, and Justin is out. No matter what they do, they cannot make the playoffs. They are officially eliminated. That means that the remaining 3 are all scrapping for the final 2 spots, and they are all within a game and a half of each other. Jordan, if you win a game, you're in. Your final 2 opponents are Zach and Chase. Sheckton, you need to win 1 game, and your remaining opponents are Barron and Zach. So if Zach goes winless in these final 2 weeks, Jordan and Sheckton take the last 2 spots. Jordan and Sheck can also still technically get a bye as being one of the number 1 or 2 seeds, but the path is kind of convoluted and requires a lot of people to lose or draw. If you are curious, let me know. We'll see if we can figure it out. Sharp, you need some help. Sharp, if he wins out, he needs Sheck or Jordan to lose out. All right? If they win a single game, as we said, they're locked in. So Sharp needs to win out, and he needs Sheck or Jordan to all lose out. Shark's final games are against J-Ball and against myself. There are only 2 weeks left. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be crazy. And then we get into our 3-week sprint towards the jersey, towards the trophy naming rights, towards the bragging rights, towards being Big Dick Bowl champions. So let's do this, bitches.